harrishomesteadblog.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make some milk kefir. So my love for fermented foods has grown tremendously since I became a mom. I just started realizing how beneficial probiotics were for our bodies, and I have been eating fermented foods, but mainly only yogurt and sauerkraut, and I wasn't making either of those. I was just buying them from the store. So in the last 6 months, I had began fermenting a lot of foods, and I realized that milk kefir is possibly the easiest one. So I began making yogurt first, and you could compare milk kefir to a drinkable yogurt. It has that same kind of sour taste as yogurt, and it's a whole lot easier to make. I have a recipe for my Instant Pot homemade yogurt that I posted last week. You can check that out. I'll link it in the description box below. But this is so much easier. So this is a jar that I poured up about 2 days ago that I haven't finished yet. And this is the milk kefir that has been sitting out on the counter for about 36 hours. So I'm going to show you how to strain off this milk kefir and add it to this batch that I already have made that I've been drinking in my smoothies the last few days. And then what the grains look like so that we can begin a new batch of milk kefir. So this is our raw milk from a local farmer that we pick up weekly that I'm going to use to make my milk kefir today. So this milk kefir has been fermenting out on my counter for about 36 hours. It is warm here now. It is the middle of June, so things will ferment a lot quicker on your countertops. Behind me I have jalapenos and sauerkraut fermenting. All of those ferment times I will adjust when it becomes the cooler months in the fall and the winter. So you can see the milk kefir is at the bottom. Up here is my cream and the whey that is separated out from the milk. And the kefir grains are going to be in here that I will show you in just a moment when we strain. Now I use this fine mesh strainer. Some people say not to let metal react with kefir grains. I was a little hesitant at first to use this, but I didn't have a plastic strainer. But for the short amount of time that my kefir grains are gonna touch this metal, I've not had any issues yet. So I'm gonna pour my kefir grains into my glass bowl and let the kefir strain away from the grains. Push this around, either with a spoon or your hands, and you'll see the kefir start to fall through the strainer. So we use raw milk, that's just our preference. You can use pasteurized milk, you just won't get this thick of a milk kefir. So raw milk still has all of the good bacteria present, whereas when milk is pasteurized, most of that good bacteria is heated and killed. So all that good bacteria that was in this raw milk has reacted with my kefir grains, causing this really thick, delicious kefir down here in my bowl. So as you can see, I'm pretty much left with these grains. So I'll tell you in a minute where you can get kefir grains and why you never have to buy kefir grains again after you begin. So here's my kefir grains. I'm gonna go ahead and just set them in here for a moment. I don't want them to react with metal for a long amount of time. I've never had any issues so far. These are my grains, and these continue to multiply. So I'll tell you about where I got my kefir grains. When I first got my grains, I ordered them through Amazon through a seller who sells their extra grains. So the longer you make milk kefir and the more amount you make, the more grains form. So when I first got my grains, I got a little bitty cup full of about this much. And you can see they've already tripled that in about 3 months. Well, I've heard of people that have had their kefir grains for up to 3 to 4 years. Mine are considered a young grain, but over time they will continue to grow, and they're very resilient. If you don't want to continue to make kefir, just put them in the refrigerator for a couple months until you want to pick back up. Here's our kefir. Just gonna add this to the milk kefir I already had in the fridge. I love to make smoothies with this for a very, very strong probiotic kick. I like to add blueberries, strawberries, frozen cherries, peanut butter, bananas, just any smoothie you would normally make with milk. Just swap it out for milk kefir to get those really strong probiotic benefits. So as you can see, we have a texture that's more of a drinkable form than yogurt. Like I said before, if you use a pasteurized milk from the grocery store, your kefir will not be this thick, but it's still going to be beneficial. I'll just put this back in the fridge for a smoothie later. So now I'm going to show you how to take these kefir grains and begin a new batch of milk kefir to leave out on your counter to make your next batch. In the next few months, I'm going to have to begin discarding some of my kefir grains If you get too many in the jar with the milk, it will ferment way too fast. Right now, I still have a good amount, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my milk. This is raw milk that we had from a local farmer. I'm just gonna pour that over the grains. As with any other fermented foods, you want to loosely place the lid on top so that any gases that are released during the fermentation process can easily escape. So those grains are going to multiply and spread throughout my milk and create that thick kefir texture of a drinkable yogurt. I will mention I do like to keep my fermented items separated on the counter. So those are fermented vegetables, whereas this is a fermented dairy. So I'll probably leave this over on this side of the counter. I also have my sourdough starter on another counter. I try not to mix the different ferments so that none of the bacteria strains can cross-contaminate. You'll also notice that our kitchen is under a major renovation. My husband just stripped out the upper cabinets last night. So the next phase of the kitchen renovation is coming soon, and I can't wait to share more on that. The milk kefir is so easy to make. I hope you would think about trying it out and begin experimenting with some fermented foods in your home. The benefits are so wonderful, and I think you'll really see a change in your health once you start adding some fermented foods. I also have a free guide to our favorite fermented foods. I will have it linked in the description box below if you'd like to check that out. It includes a recipe for this, as well as our sauerkraut, our jalapenos, pickles, yogurt. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial on how to make milk kefir. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where I post 2 new videos each week on our homegrown lifestyle at our Wholesome Homestead. Thank y'all so much for watching.